Tamil Nadu government has recently decided not to use the word center or central governments in its official communication. Instead, the Tamil Nadu state government will only use the phrase union government. So it does not mention about central government. It does not even refer to the government in Delhi as center. So this decision obviously sparks off a political controversy and introspection into the constitution. You will be surprised to know why did this Tamil Nadu government take such a decision. But Tamil Nadu government decision may raise political storm, but it is perfectly within the constitutional scheme of things. But where did you get this word central government? Well, it is mentioned in a law, in an act of 1897 called General Clauses Act of 1897. Well, in this act, the central government is defined as government. The central government means president after adoption of the Constitution of India. So therefore, president is referred to as central government by this law. Well, what do you mean by president? As per the Constitution, president has no independent thinking. President acts on the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister of India. So therefore, the central government, as per the definition of the General Clauses Act of 1897, essentially means a Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister of India. The spirit of the Constitution is against the centralizing tendency. So unfortunately, the media, the political discourse often uses the word center and central government, and this unintended use of the word center or central government, actually this uncritical use of the word center and central government has legitimized the tendency to centralize. So there is a tendency to centralize essentially because of this word. Indian government is only a union of government. So what is the difference between this union government and why is it and the central government, and why is it called a union of states? Well, the Constitution at the beginning itself says India is a union of states. Well, somebody may really get a doubt. What do you mean by this union? How can we use the word union when Indian Constitution believes to be a federal constitution? Well, many Supreme Court judgments have time and again emphasized that India is a federal constitution. And the famous Keshavananda Bharati case, Supreme Court has even said that the federalism forms part of the basic structure of the Constitution of India, which cannot be even amended by the Parliament. So federalism is not just a feature of the Constitution of India, but it is an unamendable basic feature of the Constitution of India. And even the S.R. Bommai verdict mentioned this, and it is a well-established principle of jurisprudence in India that India is a federal country. In fact, the majority of the members of the Constituent Assembly wanted to adopt the British Cabinet Mission Plan of 1946, which advocated a central government with limited powers and more powers to the state governments. But unfortunately, this did not become reality because of the prevailing climate in the country at that point of time. When I use the word climate, it doesn't mean air and water. Climate essentially means the social and political situation prevalent at that point of time. What was this social and political situation? There was a partition of India, there was a communal carnage across the country, and 500 princely states have to be integrated into the into the country called India, into the nation called India. And there were also challenges of separatism at several parts of the country. So this perhaps impacted the thinking of the constitutional makers, and they deliberately used the word union of states. And Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the chairman of the drafting committee of the Constitution of India, has clarified in crystal clear terms why did the Constitution use the word union, though it is a federal constitution. Well, the word union, Dr. Ambedkar says, it was advisedly used only to negate the right of secession And so there is no right of secession for Indian states. So to emphasize that point, the word union is used. This is what Ambedkar clarified. So there are two things. Ambedkar says India is called a union of states, though it is a federation, precisely because of two reasons. One, India was not formed due to a prior agreement among states. Point one. Point two, no state has a right to secede from the country. Because of these two reasons, though India is a federal constitution described it as a union of states. So the word union essentially refers to the unifying character of Indian states, but it does not represent the centralizing character of India. So it has to be made very clear that the word union only refers to unity of the country, unifying character of Indian states, but it does not refer to or it does not advocate any power or any tendency to centralize. And in fact, Ambedkar has further clarified, India is an indestructible union of destructible states. Therefore, it is called union of states. What do it mean? This country is indestructible. States can be destructible. You can restructure the states, but you cannot restructure the country. You cannot restructure the nation. So India is an indestructible union of destructible states. To emphasize this indestructible character of India, the word union is used, though it is a federal constitution. So therefore, Indian constitution is very clearly believes in the federalism. Look at the character of constitution. I'll give you one example. We have a government at the national level, government at the state level, and we have a legislature at the all India level and a legislature at the state level. So as per the constitution, states are not created by center. States do not draw powers from the center. States do not exist at the mercy of the center. States and center both derive their powers from the Constitution of India only. So both derive the power from the Constitution. So therefore the central government, what you call or a government at the national level, is not a boss to the states. Not just the executive and legislature. Well, parliament and assembly are independent within the areas mentioned for them in the Constitution of India. So there are state list, there is a state list, union list, and within the union list, the union government has power. Within the state list, the state government has power. Only the concurrent list, both central and the states have power to enact. And when there is a conflict between the central law and the state law, it is the central law that prevails. Otherwise, states are independent. Union government cannot interfere as long as the states make laws within the domain specified for it in the Constitution of India. And not just executive and legislature, even judiciary. Look at the beauty of Indian Constitution. We have Supreme Court and High Court. Supreme Court is an appellate court for High Court. Suppose if you lose a case in High Court, you will have a right of appeal at the Supreme Court, because Supreme Court is a higher court and an appellate court. But it is not a court that exercises the power of superintendence on High Court. What do you mean by this? The Supreme Court is not a boss to the High Court. Supreme Court will not decide and determine the activities of the High Court. High Court has its own independent existence. Only the Supreme Court, being an apex court of the country, has this appellate power, but it doesn't have a superintendent's powers. So therefore, the principle of federalism flows into the executive, legislature and judiciary in Indian Constitution. So therefore, it needs to be further emphasized that the word center and the central government are constitutional myths which need to be discouraged, and therefore the Tamil Nadu state government decision to use only the union government in lieu of the central government is constitutionally acceptable, and in fact it is the right way of mentioning, a right way of referring to the national government in India.